Be equipped, be prepared, be safe with Exquise Fire and Safety. System upgrades and installation in areas of service such as data centers, warehouses, office buildings, schools, government facilities, apartment buildings, hospitals, community centers, places of worship, and restaurants. You can get a free quote at the number 248-220-9048. Welcome to the dating and relationship with Chaz playbook with Chaz. This is getting you. I'm getting used to the new name. This is still. I've been saying, in my humble opinion, for like 2 years. So saying the dating and relationship playbook with Chaz is a little bit different. But I have a very special guest, Kamaria Tinsley. Thanks for coming on, Kamaria.
Thank you. I'm very humble that you asked me to join today. Grateful to be here.
So one reason why I had you to, I think you listened to the last one. I'm not sure, but I did mention you in my podcast with the qualities, good quality, healthy qualities in a relationship. And the reason why I mentioned you because I put it out on social media as far as what are some qualities that make up a healthy relationship, and you responded. You put communication, compromise, and emotional intelligence, and so then I responded on my podcast on that podcast episode, and so I wanted to. I know we were messaging each other, and I said, well, are you cool with coming on and talking about, some of those things? So I'm glad that we were able to connect and you were able to come on today.
Yes.
So can you go into, like when somebody makes a comment, they can is only, it's very short. So can you go into the reasons why you chose communication, compromise, and emotional intelligence?
So as far as communication, I think that's essential to a healthy relationship. In a lot of relationships, one or both people can shut down really easily. And a lot of times that can be due to unhealed trauma or, things that have happened in their past with previous relationships. And I really think effective communication is so vital in order to keep a relationship healthy. Giving significant other like the silent treatment is very detrimental to the relationship. It erodes it completely. So I really that's very, very important to me. Just in order to keep the relationship healthy, that active listening and listening to understand, not just going through one ear, not the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think it goes into you when you talk about the silent treatment. I think that kind of goes into the a low emotional intelligence. Like if you're, if you had this high emotional intelligence, you would know that the silent treatment is, like you said, is actually detriment is damaging a relationship.
Right. And it's actually emotional abuse. And a lot of people don't realize it, especially if the other person is doing it to be manipulative. Mm-hmm. It actually hits the same area of the brain as physical abuse. So every time you do that to your partner, it's just as bad as physically abusing them. So it is very, very detrimental to the health of the relationship and the other person. So that's crucial to me. Yeah, definitely effective communication. And if that's something that is, what's the word I'm looking for, is tough in a relationship, then I think marital counseling or couples counseling can be effective, as long as the person that's not communicating is aware that it's a problem.
What do you think, like, effective listening? What does that look like?
So just say in a relationship, I'm coming to you with a problem. You actually on the receiving end listening without being defensive, listening to understand. So dropping that ego.
Yeah.
And actually listening to understand, because a lot of times, I'm speaking from a woman's perspective, a man will shut down because they don't know how to deal with their own feelings. So, and if that's an issue for you in a relationship, you really got to get help for that, because that's going to be an issue no matter what relationship, no matter what person you get with. So
yeah, and you talk about guys, a lot of time we may shut down, and I think I say my experience with that, not shutting down, maybe because, and it is not good, but just because you, like, men, we just, like, verbally, we just don't, I don't, and especially me, like, I'm not about to go back and forth with somebody. So I say, like, I think it's also important when you talk about communication that it's like, there's a level of respect and that needs to go into that, like, especially when you having a hard conversation. So if somebody's, like, talking at you or talking down to you, then it's like that's not effective either. We need to have a conversation, So I did learn, like, to, like, share my, express myself a little more in the relationship, from a relationship that I was in. I just think I think it becomes an issue when you always, it probably be like, okay, this person probably not the person for you when you're always in some type of conflict.
Right.
Yeah. You also put compromise. Can you think of a time where you or someone you were with, like, made a compromise and it was beneficial to you? Like, you maybe saw that compromise and you was like, I'm glad that they, took a step back and allowed me to do this, or allowed me to, flourish because of something that they compromised, or maybe it's something that you might have compromised.
Nothing really comes. I mean, with compromise, I'm kind of stuck on that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The third thing you talked about was emotional intelligence, and I know we use that a lot. What's an example of that, when you thought about, emotional intelligence? What was an example that you thought of, or what is emotional, like a healthy emotional intelligence? What does that look like to you?
The biggest thing for me is empathy. Okay. So having you actually being able to sit with me and understand where I'm coming from. So if I'm coming to you with an issue of just say not blame this on the partner, but my own issue that I'm dealing with. So I'm having a rough day. I'm having anxiety. Just say
Yeah.
I had an anxiety attack or something. You being able to sit with me and actually understand and feel for me. That
Mm-hmm.
is emotional intelligence to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And actually, holding a space for me, not trying to fix it, just sitting with me
Mm-hmm.
and letting me know it's gonna be okay. Like, how can I be your safe space today?
Mm-hmm.
And I think,
Mm-hmm.
for women, that's so important that her man be that safe space.
Yeah.
Because the more safe she feels, the softer she's going to be in that relationship. So, when she's feeling a little overwhelmed, just being able to listen to her
Mm-hmm.
and just hold space for her. Empathy is so important.
Yeah. When you talk about if you having that day, is that something that go back to the communication? Do you communicate, or do you do you have a body language that shows that you might be having that? Like, um, is is that communicated to that person, or
If
should be?
I'm thinking, you know, just what I would envision for, like, I'm divorced. I've been divorced for almost about 3.5 years now. But
Okay.
if I was in a relationship, yeah, that is something that I would communicate. And in prior relationships, I might not, because
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't I didn't feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I mean, now I would seek out partners that I know that they could be a safe space for me. So,
Yeah.
and that could be a whole nother, that could be a whole nother topic of how to choose, um, um, somebody that is emotionally intelligent.
Yeah, no, that is you're right about that. But, it's interesting that you talk about creating this safe space, because my sister and I, we were just talking about this yesterday, and so she said a lot of times women may not communicate because they don't feel safe with that person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, and it can be the same way with men. They might not feel safe with a
Right.
woman. What do you think? Like, what are some ways that somebody can create this space where they are safe with their partner? Feels like they're safe to communicate or to be vulnerable.
Um, I would say the most important thing is healing from the past before you even get involved with somebody. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Yeah.
because a lot of times we get into relationships with people and they have so much unhealed trauma, they can't be a safe space for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just knowing what to look for before you get involved with somebody, is really important.
Yeah.
To answer your question.
What would you say some things that you would look for before, like, getting into a relationship with somebody that you probably learned from your marriage? What are some things that you would look for um in the future, or in the future, if you are looking to get into a relationship?
Well, one of the most important for me, as a woman of God, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm very strong with my faith. I have a long way to go, but God has really done a working on me in the past, 3.5 years.
Amen.
Um, and I've dated here and there, and I've learned a lot just dating. And one of the most important things is, when you are a woman of God, you have to be equally yoked
Yeah, that's
with,
good. Yeah.
with, with somebody that is submitted and obedient to God.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I've been in situations where the man can say, "Oh, I believe in God," but they don't. they don't give reverence to God in every area of their life.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most important things I look at is how are you, what does your single season look like?
Okay.
So are you disciplined in your single season?
That's good. Yeah.
If you're single, you technically are free to do whatever you want, but how are you guarding your heart?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not guarding your heart, how can you guard mine?
Yeah.
Because if there's a lust issue in the single season, marriage is not going to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be something that is dealt with in the single season.
No, that I like that.
Yeah.
When you when that guy is looking for you, because the word says he who finds a wife finds a good thing, so you shouldn't be looking for him.
Right.
So you putting yourself in a position to be found. Let's say the what's at church, because I know like a lot like that might be a good place to meet somebody. How do you feel about having a relationship at the church that you're in? Do you think it would be it will be what's your position on that? Because I know like sometimes people might be in your business, or you might if it doesn't work out, then somebody it might be a little awkward. Like, what's your position on dating somebody at the church you attend?
Well, I mean, I don't regularly go to church
Oh, okay.
every Sunday, but the church that I do attend, when I go, I mean, I'm not opposed to dating somebody at church, as long as that whoever God has for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can meet them at a gas station. I can meet them at so whoever God has for me, I'm definitely not opposed if that's God's plan for my life.
Yeah.
So, because eventually I would, even if I met somebody outside of church, I'd want to go to the same church as them,
Yeah.
even after, belong to the same church. So, I definitely wouldn't be opposed to that.
You talked about, guys may say, hey, I'm a Christian, or I go to church, or I have a relationship with God. How would you determine if they are serious? Like, cause I go to church regularly. I'm in leadership in my church, so I take my relationship with God seriously. How, and so I'm with you 100% as far as like that person needs to be, I'm not expecting them to be like where I'm at, but I want them to take their relationship serious. How would you know? What are some indicators that you think that this person may not be as serious as they say they are? And not just telling you something. You know what I'm saying? Like we can say a lot of things, but it's like, okay, we can say a lot of things, but us actually doing it is another thing.
Are they exhibiting the fruits of the Holy Spirit? So are they patient? Are they kind?
Yeah.
Those are all things that I look for. Are they obedient to God's word?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's it's so many things that, I mean, I can, for me, it's not hard to pick up on it.
Okay.
I just know. But I think that's where you really have to have, I'll give you an example. I dealt with somebody, and I could tell that they weren't submitted. And I went through a period of fasting. And afterward, I had peace about it. And I broke things off.
Oh, okay.
And as hard as it was, I still don't regret that decision to walk away, because I know it wasn't. It's just there was a lot of things, and I know, because there was a lot of confusion there. So that's a big thing too.
Yeah.
It says in the Bible, when God blesses you, He adds no sorrow to it. So, and there won't be any confusion when He brings that. There was a discomfort there. I just knew it wasn't right. So, I think obedience, and like I said, I still am, I want to say early in my walk, but I still have a lot to learn, and I definitely could go further. But somebody that is submitted, the single season to me is everything.
Yeah.
So
everybody's in a different, everybody's in a different season, like you said. So as long as you're trying, as long as you putting in the effort to in the relationship with God and with Jesus, then you're on the right track. It's when you're not putting in the effort. But everybody's in a different season in their life, a different level with God that they. But the good thing is like you're saying, hey, I want to be more, because we all need to, until we go to heaven, we all can do more for the God, for the kingdom, for God. So that's good. And as far as like, I like what you said as far as with the king, with the single season, somebody that is disciplined is very, like, that's something that, because that's a trait. You talk about the fruits of the spirit. Is not discipline, but it's self-control is one of the fruits of the spirit, and that is something that you would want in a partner, to have that self-control, where just because you are single and you can do these things doesn't mean you need to do them, because if you're trying to prepare for your spouse, it's going to be a level of self-control, of a level of discipline that you're going to have, or that you should have,
Oh yeah, because once you get married, I mean, it's gonna be, you're gonna be tempted, but the determining factor is how obedient to God you were in your single season. Because I mean, I think oftentimes we get linked up with the wrong people, because God was an afterthought. Because we are so fleshly of what we want. We're human.
Yeah.
And we put this person, we idolize this person more than we idolize God.
Yeah. And I want to go back to what you said. You said this a couple times. You talked about, people not being over trauma that they've gone through. What are some ways that you may have seen that, or what are some things that a person, obviously, a person should go to therapy, but if they don't know that they, because my dad, he was listening to one of my podcasts, and the podcast was talking about complex PTSD.
Yes.
And he said, my grandfather, his dad died before my dad, when my dad was a baby, so he didn't have a dad, and that just kind of, he went through some trauma with that. He really didn't know until he listened to that podcast. So what are some ways that maybe if somebody is going through, they have trauma, childhood trauma, or trauma as an adult, how can a person understand that they may need some type of support outside of some professional support?
Um,
Like, would you be able to, if you were in a relationship with somebody, or if you were like in the phases of talking with them, would you be able to have see like indications that they might need some support, and would you be able to have that conversation with them?
um, yeah, I've had that conversation with
Okay.
some, and I can always I mean, I've working with the general public. I've talked to a lot of women because I work in the beauty department, so I hear all types of stories.
Okay.
Mm. So as far as what you said with a relationship, the way I can kind of tell is um, somebody that is very needy early in the
Okay.
relationship
Oh,
that
okay.
wants um, to cling to you real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
that's kind of one of the indicators. I mean, if I feel comfortable, like in the dating, I probably won't pursue it further because I feel like you should have some level of awareness
mm-hmm.
before you step out into the dating.
Yeah.
At least trying to get the help. But yeah, that's something. If I feel God has led me to, minister to somebody, um, I definitely will. And yeah, that's definitely something that I think you should be aware of before you go
Yeah.
and into the dating scene.
Yeah, you're 100% right. You should be aware of that, and then you should. I'm glad you brought up the needy, clingy indicator, because that is one. So if somebody, my listeners, if you are getting into a relationship, or you seeing, and this is male or female, if the guy is needy or clingy too fast, and the same thing for a woman, if they're needy, clingy, earlier in a relationship, that is an indicator that, hey, you might want to have a conversation with them, because it might be some trauma there, or might be some um, it might be something going on. That's an indicator that, like, that's like a yellow reddish flag that you need to, be on guard. Like, that's not, because that, a person shouldn't be that at the, at the early stages. But
Right.
before I as we close this, I did want to give like, what's like maybe a piece of advice that you would give a young woman, or being married, and then going, being in the dating scene now, or have dating individuals now. What are some, like, a piece of advice that you would give a woman that is trying to get in a relationship, and have a healthy relationship with a young man, or with a man in general?
Um, I would say that um, if you're dating and thinking the person that you're dating is going to be somebody that's going to heal your unmet needs that you haven't healed from, you really have to get help for that.
Mm-hmm. No, that's good. That's good.
Especially when you're a woman of God or a man of God and you have an assignment on your life.
Mm-hmm.
Or the person that you link up with can derail you.
Yeah.
If you're the
Yeah.
wrong spirit. And then oftentimes we attract the same because you ever wonder, oh, is he my type or she my type?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's because there's a certain spirit in that person.
Mm-hmm.
you keep attracting controlling people.
Mm-hmm.
You keep attracting lustful people. You're attracted to them because it's something within you that you have not given to God. And when you give it to God and therapy, you're going to keep attracting that same spirit until you heal.
That's good. That's good advice. Um, I know you mentioned that you've been divorced. You know, you got out of divorce 3 years ago. What was something that you like are learning after that process? That you maybe learn about yourself, or that you learn to be able to be better for the next man,
Um,
or
I would
maybe,
say,
or it might be nothing. You know, I mean, or maybe I don't know.
um, I would say what I've learned is um, understanding my identity in God and not putting it in somebody else. Because so many times, like even before being married, dating and stuff, I was looking for somebody to complete me.
That's good.
And I had my own stuff that I hadn't healed from.
Mm-hmm.
Been through old relationships and things, as an early adult that had happened that I had to give to God. And until I really did, um, it's been a game changer. Therapy. I mean, if you can get the right therapist,
Yeah.
it's especially if you can get like my therapist is Christian. So
Okay.
if you can get a
Okay.
Christian, she has a prophetic spirit. If you can get a Christian, that has been a game changer. She opened my eyes to a lot of things that a traditional therapist probably wouldn't.
Mm.
So, um, yeah, if that answers your
No, that's
question.
no, that's
Yeah.
that's good. That did. Um, Ka- Kamaria, right? Kamaria.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. You went before we started. You told me so many things that you do as far as like with your with business, or with your with beauty. I want to give you an opportunity to like share that, and maybe how people can support you, or you can service them with your you know with your business. Can you share that with them? 'Cause I know you do,
Um,
beauty, and you do a lot with that, but it was so much that I was like, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to share that.
yeah. So I am a licensed esthetician at Anna Louise Salon and Spa. I have a very limited schedule right now, though, but hopefully in the near future that will open up a little bit. So I'm there on Mondays, and I specialize in skincare. I do chemical peels, facials, bag facials. So acne and aging skin, premature aging skin is my focus. So skincare, that's what I do. So if you're suffering from acne, dark spots, I can get you right. I
Yeah.
also work at Walgreens as the beauty and wellness consultant. So I do makeup consulting there. If you want to find your right foundation, I do mini makeover sessions. I also do skin consultations there. I'm always featuring different products throughout the week with samples and coupons. So I'm available there Wednesday through Saturday. So
Okay. My mom
yeah,
goes to the was it the she Anna Louise? I think
yeah,
she goes there. Um,
awesome.
yeah. Hey, this was good. I had a good time with you.
Yeah,
Thanks
that's
again. Thanks.
wonderful.
Yeah. I'm glad we were able to connect, and like I said, I appreciate you engaging with me on my social media to be able to talk about some of the relationship qualities that are that makes a healthy relationship.
I'm so grateful that you asked me to meet with you today.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, me too. This is the dating relationship playbook with Chaz. I had Kamaria Tinsley on. Thanks again for coming on.
Thank you. You have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Bye bye.